back to my channel. I am so excited to bring you this episode. It is all about tanning and it is a collab. So this is going to be awesome. Absolutely awesome. So I got to know Monika McGillicuddy a while back as I was doing a collab with Amy Miranda on what was it, what advice you would give to women in their 30s, 40s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, something like that. And you can see that video below. I will link it below. But in conjunction with that, I got to meet a wonderful gal that is up here on YouTube, and she brings a whole new, genre in. She does skincare. She does, of course, for mature women. She does makeup. She does reviews. She talks about her health. She talks about diet. She just talks about a lot of stuff that's going on in her life, and she just puts it all out there. Monika is from New Hampshire. She lives there with her husband, Jay. And they both are realtors. They're in business together as partners in the real estate business up in New Hampshire. So hint, hint, if you ever, if you are up there and need housing, she's the one to go to. And so we kind of like started commenting back and forth on each other's videos. And we said, hey, wouldn't it be great to do a video together on a topic? So, gee, let's come up with a topic. So we kind of thought about it for a while, let it ferment in our brain. And we came up with the topic of tanning. Is it still, is it hip to tan? Is tanning outdated? Do people still tan? Given the, dangers, obviously, that everybody knows about skin care and skin cancer and everything. So with that said, we put our heads together and we actually brought in Marlene, and she's from Fab and Glam Over 50. I'm just reading my notes down here so I don't get it wrong, Marlene. Hi, Marlene. Love you. I see you all the time. Believe me, believe me. So she's fabulous too. She's same thing, mature gal, skincare, reviews and everything. And so Marlene and Monika kind of thought of some of the questions and things that we should be putting together. And then, Monika and I are actually, doing the video, but Marlene can certainly go ahead and do her own, tag her. I can tag her if she wants to be tagged, no obligation, Marlene, nothing like that. But yeah, if you want to jump in and join us, that's great. The more the merrier. And I do want to put it out there. If anybody else wants to do this, and answer these questions, I will be putting the questions below in the description, and I will be putting it somewhere over here or bottom here as I'm going through these 5 questions. So if you guys are interested, any gals or guys out there, and want to give your opinions and your answers about tanning, feel free, please feel free to go ahead and use our topic and go out there and, spread the love, okay? This is not we're not being inclusive. We're being, we are being inclusive. We're not being exclusive, right? Is that how it goes? Yeah, exclusive, right. So we want everyone to do it, okay? Basically, we want everyone to do it. So with that said, let's see, I talked about that she does RVing, she does some camping, she loves the beach, she's near the beach, Monika is. She's up in New Hampshire, she's a wife, a mother, a grandmother, and just a lovely lady. She loves to bake, she just loves to enjoy all the things in life and countless hours walking on the beach and all of those adventures. And she does a lot of traveling too, and I believe she does put some of those up here on YouTube as well with her camping and outdoor stuff. So with that said, please go over to her channel, give her some love, and look at her video and see what she has to say. I'm sure she has a lot of great stories about the whole tanning and growing up in that whole tanning environment, in the 70s and 80s. So with that said, I'm going to just scroll down here on my laptop and get to the questions. And I'm going to go ahead and, like I said, post them below too. So here we go. Number 1. Okay. Oh, by the way, guys, how do you like my hair? I know I straightened it. I took a flat iron to it and decided to go and straighten it today. I don't know, just on a whim. So no curliness today, sorry. But I'll go back to being curly, no problems. All right, so number one, old habits are hard to break. What was your tanning tude growing up? Well, let me tell you, my mother loved to bake in the sun like a chicken. Seriously, she slathered on baby oil. She slathered on copper tone. I don't know if you guys, well, they don't make that one anymore, but they had the deep tanning oil, the copper tone. It came in like a brown bottle. I'm going to try to put a picture up here if I can find it on Google, one of those nostalgic copper tone bottles with the little girl with her butt, her backside open, with the tan lines. So cute. They had it on big billboards all over, in those days. But that's what she used, and we all went tanning, and the more we tanned, the better we looked, and we thought that it was the greatest thing to tan because basically in our generation, if you were affluent, if you were of a certain status in economic status growing up, to show that you were tanned, you were on vacation, you had enough money to take vacation, you weren't a pale-faced, factory worker sitting in the factory and churning out stuff. You had leisure time. Seriously, in the 60s and 70s, that's what it was all about. It was that Las Vegas attitude with the sunglasses and the deep tan, and it was just all over the media. That's what we grew up. We grew up in, the tanner you were, you conveyed wealth, you conveyed, that you were a globe trotter, that you went around and all you did was you were in Monte Carlo and blah, 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 and tanning out on the beach. Now, my tannitude was I went down to South Beach. I lived in New York, went down to South Beach a lot on my vacations. And then later on, we actually owned a house in Atlantic City, and we used to drive down from New York to Atlantic City on the weekends in the summer. And yes, every single day I would be on that beach. Every single day in my little bikini two-piece, I would be baking out there for hours and hours. I'd go in the morning, we'd go home for lunch or grab something on the boardwalk, and then literally go back to the beach in the late afternoon or in the afternoon and just sit out there all day. And I didn't know any better. Seriously, did not know any better. So that was my tannitude. So that's number one. Question number two is, what was your worst tanning / burning experience? Okay. I remember this to this day because it was that bad. I fell asleep on a lounge bed in by the poolside, and this was in South Beach when I got there. And I think I was no more than, I would say 12 or 13 years old, not more than that. And again, two-piece bathing suit. My mother slathered me with the copper tone tanning oil, literally like putting a chicken in a frying pan. And I went on my tummy, and it was just, I started to snooze. I was relaxed, and I fell asleep. And somehow I think my mother just didn't pay attention or anything, or didn't even know better. Basically, I was just sleeping in the sun. So what? I would get even more tan, more is good, right? And when I woke up, I was dark, but kind of redder, but kind of on the red dark side. I never used to burn that much, because I have olive skin. But that night, oh my God, I started to burn. It was so hot. It was like I was running a fever. Just to touch it on the back, if you touched my back, I would scream out in pain, almost like having welts on your back. My mom put on some aloe vera lotion and other creams, and basically I peeled like a lizard for about 2 weeks. And everything underneath was raw and red and just like baby skin. It was horrible. I could not bear to have anything on my back. Like, I had to be in halters for like, a week or two, and basically not be out in the sun. I literally did not go out back by the pool or by the beach almost my whole vacation, my South Beach vacation, was ruined because I could not go out again. It was so painful. Until it peeled off and it healed, I just couldn't bear anything on my back. And to this day, I remember it. It was just a horrible, horrible experience. And I never, fell asleep again out in the sun, and I monitored myself so that I wouldn't do anything like that. And I learned. I mean, it's a learning experience. You learn, right? So that's number 2. Number 3, let's get serious. Now that you are aware of the long-term damage of sun exposure has and can cause, do you still tan? And if so, do you tan smartly? Do I tan? I do walks. I don't formally sit out on the beach. I'm not near a beach right now. I'm in Atlanta, so there is no beach really, unless I would go to Lake Lanier, which would be, quite a drive. And I don't much like lakes anyway. But I don't have the opportunity to tan formally. I don't do any tanning beds, so I don't go to any tanning salons. I never have. There's just something about those bulbs, and honestly for me it was more of a claustrophobic environment. It looks like a coffin to me, seriously, for me to lie down there, and then they put the top down even though there's some space that is left open, I guess, and then they have those bulbs there, all around you. But that whole environment just mentally turned me off. Not like physically, like I was really scared that I would burn or anything, but just mentally it would turn me off that I would have to be there in this coffin-like box to tan. I always thought in my head there's a better way to do this, and I'm not going to do that. But I don't formally tan anymore. I do take walks outdoors, and I do get enough sun, I think. I haven't had any physical ailments or issues from lack of sun or vitamin D. I do take some vitamin D supplements in the wintertime if I'm not getting enough sun. But by and large, I get my sun and my tanning, or at least my outdoor glow, by walking around and walking with my dog. So that's what I do. Wear, big hats. I'm looking at my notes here, and t-shirts, and I cover up. And if I would sit outside, like the times that I have gone to Florida and sat out on the beach, I do order one of those big, large umbrellas, the kinds that they stick in the sand, and I'll pay, whatever it is, $10 or whatever, to have someone come out and put that in there, because just for the heat and everything, I like to be under there, and that's kind of like my hiding place. So once I've gotten enough sun for the day, I will go underneath the umbrella so to have enough shade. So I do that. Number 4, what advice would you give to your teenage daughter? I don't have a teenage daughter. I don't have a daughter, but or relatives about tanning. I would tell them that what you do now as a young person out in the sun, or doing your tanning beds, or whatever it is that you do, whatever you do now, you're going to pay for later. You really are. I mean, it's going to come back, and it's going to bite you, especially if you're lighter skinned or don't have olive skin. You tend to have a very low threshold as far as the UV rays are concerned. And you don't want to end up in a dermatologist's office in your 40s and 50s and up with skin cancer, with sun damage to your skin, with wrinkles, with discoloration to your skin. Yes, there's a lot of things that dermatologists can do now. There's a lot of chemicals they can use, and a lot of lights and things like that to get your skin back to it'll never be back to where it was before. Don't kid yourself. It's never going to be 100%, but they can do some things. They can do a lot more than they used to be able to do 20, 30 years ago, honestly. But, you don't want to do that. You don't want to, spend all that money. Everything is out of pocket. It's out of pocket if it's cosmetic. Obviously, if you have skin cancer and it's medical, then it'll be, covered or somewhat covered by insurance. But most of the time, if it's just cosmetic related, you've got some wrinkles, you've got some skin discoloration, things like that. Those are considered cosmetic, and you will have to pay a bunch of money out of pocket to go to a dermatologist or a cosmetician or whoever, and you know, get injections or get whatever treatment it is that they do to alleviate all that sun damage. So I would tell my relatives, my daughter, or whoever, you know, try very, very hard not to go overboard. Some sun exposure is good and some is healthy, but you know, if there's an occasion, for example, like a prom or a date or a wedding or something where you want to look glowy, you want to look well put together, you want to have that, you know, that healthy California tan. Yeah, maybe do the tanning sprays or do the lotions that turn, you know, your skin darker. That's temporary, and that will wear off, and that will, you know, wear off, wash off, brush off, whatever. And then that way you're not harming your skin long term. You're not doing any sun damage. You still get that nice look, and you go to your event, you enjoy your event, and then when it's over, you don't have to really commit to it, you know, to have it. Put on the tanner stuff, you know, get that glow going, but you know, don't have to do all that tanning bed stuff. I don't know. Okay, and then the last question, number 5, is there really such a thing as tanning smartly? I do believe that there is such a thing as tanning smartly. Again, wearing hats, wearing clothing, bringing a t-shirt along, making sure that you're not overexposed, knowing your body, obviously hydrating, but knowing that, you know, if things are burning or it's hot to the touch, it's time to leave. If you're doing sports, if you're doing tennis or anything that involves outdoor sports, put your sunscreen on 30 minutes before you go out. Make sure it's at least SPF 50, and then reapply. Bring it with you, whether it's a spray or a lotion that you rub on. Make sure that you periodically reapply, especially if you're sweating or in the pool. There's a lot of wonderful sunscreens out there that some of them, you know, are natural, some of them aren't, but there's a ton to look at. And I don't have any one particular variety that I can say, you know. I know the Neutrogena one, I do like that sunblock. It's like a SPF 50, and there's some for just for faces, but you know, you know the drill. There's so many out there that you can certainly find one that you will like, that's okay for your skin. I know some people might have issues if their skin is oily or they have breakouts. Certain sunscreens might not work well with your face. If you're a lady or gentleman wearing makeup or any foundation, for the summertime, look for an SPF of 15 and above on your makeup, and that will alleviate a lot of problems as far as needing to put extra sunscreen on, especially if you're outdoors. You can just put your makeup on and it'll do okay, you know, with that. So there's things that you can do, and just be smart about it. Time yourself. If you're outdoors, if you're doing a lot of you know, outdoor stuff and camping and fishing and anything else, walking around, just reapply sunscreen. And that's the only smart way I would know to make sure that my skin is you know, taken care of and is not going to be in that danger zone. Okay, so that's it. I hope that you enjoyed this and stuck with me throughout the whole questions and adventures and everything. Monica, thank you again for collabing with me. I hope that this is the beginning of a wonderful relationship of collaborations between you and I. And Marlene, if you want to do anything, please hit me up. I am open to collabing with, you know, people that are of my same mentality and, you know, age and mentality and everything. If we have things in common, I think we can bring a positive change and a positive attitude here on YouTube to a lot of people and engage in a positive way. So blessings to everybody. I hope you're enjoying your day again. Go over to Monika, and of course, you know, go to Marlene as well and check her out. And again, if you guys want to do the same type of questions, I will post the questions down below. in my description section, so that you guys can copy and paste it and use it for your own videos. Okay, blessings to everyone, and have a wonderful day. Bye bye.